Good morning, children. We'll continue with Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice. We have almost finished the book. I know you don't have Act 5, but to get a complete idea of the play, it's better that you just read over Act 5. Yeah. So we were on page 204, line 116. Music ceases. Portia and Nerissa have come back. They are welcomed with music. And Lorenzo says, "That is the voice, or I am much deceived of Portia." Portia's voice is heard. "He knows me as the blind man knows the cuckoo by my bad voice." So Lorenzo has recognized the voice of Portia. "Dear lady, welcome home. We have been praying for our husband's health. With speed we hope the better for our words are they returned." So we've been praying for the well-being of their husbands, and I hope they have come back. Have they come back yet? I hope they have benefited from our prayers. We hope the better for our words. Are they returned? Madam, they are not yet. But there is come a messenger before to signify their coming. Signify means to inform, to tell about their coming. "Go in, Nerissa, give orders to my servants that they take no note at all of our being absent hence." The servants should not tell Bassanio and the people coming with Bassanio that Portia and Nerissa had not been at home. Nor you, Lorenzo, Jessica, nor you. They should not inform anybody, the servants and Lorenzo and Jessica, about Portia's absence. A tucket sounded. "Lorenzo, your husband is at hand." This is the sounds which, the welcoming sounds to welcome people of nobility. So Portia belongs to a noble family. So that is why a tucket sounds. This night methinks is but the daylight sick. It looks a little paler, 'tis the day, such as the day is when the sun is hid." It is early morning, so she says the night is as if the daylight is sick. The day is, it seems as if the night is getting over and the day has started. The night is getting over and the day has started. It looks a little paler. 'Tis a day such as a day is when the sun is hid. When the sun is hidden by the clouds, we don't get the bright light of the sun. Enter Bassanio, Antonio, Gratiano and their followers. "Bassanio, we should hold day with the antipodes, if you would walk in the absence of the sun." Antipodes are the other side of the world, where there is darkness for a longer time. So Bassanio says, even if it is dark, if the presence of Portia will give light, will give happiness, will give cheer. So it is as if day is there, light is there when Portia is present. "Let me give light, but let me not be light. I hope I will give happiness, but I don't want to be frivolous, playful. For a light wife doth make a heavy husband." The third light means unfaithful. Unfaithful wife will make a husband, heavy means sad. And never be Bassanio so for me. Bassanio should never become sad or in grief because of Portia, because of her. But God sought all. God will decide everything. "Welcome home, my lord." "I thank you, madam. Give welcome to my friend. This is the man. This is Antonio, to whom I am so infinitely bound." I am very much obliged to Antonio, because it was Antonio's money, the 3,000 ducats which he had borrowed, which enabled Bassanio to come to Belmont. "You should in all sense be much bound to him. You should really be very much grateful to him. For as I hear, he was much bound for you. He had signed a bond, risking his own life for the sake of Bassanio." Antonio, "No more. There is no need to speak about the bond and all that. I am well acquitted. I am free from everything. Sir, you are very welcome to our house. It must appear in other ways than words. Therefore, I scan this breathing courtesy. I want to welcome you not only in words but also in actions. to Nerissa. Now Nerissa and Graciano are having a quarrel. And as you know, it is because of the ring. Because Nerissa also had given Graciano a ring. By yonder moon, I swear you do me wrong. Graciano is saying, you're doing a great wrong to me. In faith, I gave it to the judge's clerk. I gave the ring to the judge's clerk. Would he were dead that had it. I wish the judge's clerk were dead. There is dramatic irony there because Nerissa is there and she is the judge's clerk. For my part, since you do take it, since you are taking the matter so seriously, I wish the judge's clerk were dead. I scant dead. Since you do take it, love, so much to heart. Since you are so much worried about this ring, I wish the judge's clerk were dead. And Portia says, a quarrel already, what is the matter? And Graciano says, about a hoop of gold. It's just a circle of gold. A paltry ring, a small ring, an insignificant ring that she did give me, whose posy was for all the world. Posy is the inscription on the ring. It was just like Cutler's poetry. Cutler refers to spoons and knives. And sometimes upon spoons and knives, the inscription is there, love me and leave me not. So he compares the ring which Nerissa had given him to Cutler's poetry to the inscription on the ring, which is love me and leave me not. And Nerissa says, what talk you of the posy or the value? There is no need to talk about the inscription or the value of the ring. The promise with which you made when the ring was placed on your finger, the promises which they made to each other, that is more important. It's not the value or it's not the inscription. You swore to me when I did give it to you that you would wear it till your hour of death. Graciano had promised, just like Bassanio had promised, that he would wear the ring, it would be on his finger till he died. And that it should lie with you in your grave. And even if his body is placed in the grave, the ring will be there. Though not for me, yet for your vehement oaths. It is not, it is because of the very vehement, very strong promises which you made. You should have been respectful. You should have been more responsible. You should have kept it carefully because of the promises that you made. And have kept it. Gave it to a judge's clerk? No. God's my judge. The clerk will never wear hair on his face that had it. I am sure the judge's clerk will not grow a beard. Because Nerissa was a judge's clerk and she is a woman. And Nerissa is insisting that Graciano gave the ring to a woman, while Graciano says that he has given it to a man. He will, and if he lived to be a man, if the judge's clerk is a man, he will grow hair. If a woman lived to be a man, that will happen only if a woman can become a man. Now by the hand I gave it to a youth. By my hand, I swear by my hand, that I gave the ring to a young man. A kind of youth, a little scrubbed boy, a very short boy, no higher than thyself. The boy was small in size, just as tall as Nerissa. The judge's clerk, again dramatic irony, a prating boy. This judge's clerk was talking too much, that begged it as a fee. He wanted it for the fee, as a fee for saving Antonio. He had written the notes while Portia was giving the sentence, giving the verdict. Nerissa was taking down the notes. So she was the scribe, like. I could not for my heart deny it. The judge's clerk insisted, so I could not refuse it. And not only that, he had done a very good job. You were to blame. I must be plain with you. Portia says, you should be blamed. To part so lightly with your wife's first gift, to give it away so easily. A thing stuck on your finger and so riveted with faith. This ring symbolized the faith, the truthfulness, the honesty, the love of each other, and so riveted, fixed on your finger with faith. I gave my love a ring, I gave Bassanio a ring, and made him swear never to part with it. And here he stands. I dare be sworn to him. I'm sure he would not have given it away, nor plucked it from his finger. He would not have removed it from his finger for the wealth that the whole world masters. Even for the wealth of the whole world, he would not have given the ring. Now in faith, Graciano, you gave your wife so unkind a cause of grief. There is reason for Nerissa to be sorrowful, to be sad, because you have given, you are responsible. So you have given her a reason to be sad. And it were me, I should be mad at it. If Bassanio had given away the ring, I should have been so angry. I would have been mad with anger. Bassanio aside. Why? I were best to cut my left hand off and swear I lost the ring defending it. And Graciano says, at that time Bassanio might have put his hand behind his back, and Graciano says, my lord Bassanio gave his ring away unto the judge that begged it, and indeed deserved it too. And then the boy and his clerk, that took some pains in writing, the judge and the clerk, that is Nerissa, he begged mine. And neither man nor master, neither the judge nor the clerk would take anything but the 2 rings. Aught means anything. They wanted only the 2 rings. What ring gave you, my lord? Not that I hope which you received from me. If I could add a lie unto a fault, I have committed a mistake, I have committed a fault, now I must tell, if I say that the ring is not on my finger, I will be telling a lie also, adding a lie to the fault. I would deny it, but you see, my finger hath not the ring upon it. It is gone. Even so is void is your false heart of truth. You gave the ring, so you are not faithful. By heaven, I will never be your wife, Portia tells Bassanio, until I see the ring again. And Nerissa repeats, nor I be yours. I will not be your wife till I see my ring again. Sweet Portia, if you did not to whom I gave the ring. Again, dramatic irony, the ring was given to Portia herself. If you did know for whom I gave the ring, to whom I gave the ring, for whom I gave the ring, if you did know that and would conceive for what I gave the ring, the reason why I gave the ring, and how unwillingly I left the ring. I gave her the ring with very unwillingly, when not would be accepted by the ring, because the judge insisted that the judge wanted only the ring and nothing else for saving Antonio. You would abate the strength of your displeasure. You would not be so angry with me. If you had known, now Portia replies, if you had known the virtue of the ring, or half her worthiness that gave the ring, if you had known the worth of the person who placed that ring on your finger, even half the worth of that person, that is Portia, or your own honor to contain the ring, were you deserving of the ring, you would not then have parted with the ring. If you had known all these things, you would not have given it away. What man is there so much unreasonable? Is there anyone who is so unreasonable? If you had pleased to have defended it, you should have kept the ring. No person would be so unreasonable to take away your wife's first gift from you. So again you see dramatic irony there. With any terms of seal, wanted the modesty to urge the thing held as a ceremony. It is not the cost of the ring, it is the promises which is symbolized by that ring. And nobody would have been so unreasonable to insist on having that ring. Nerissa teaches me what to believe. I'll die for it, but some woman had the ring. Again, Bassanio might be insisting that the ring was taken by the judge, and by the judge who is a man, and Portia insists that it is a woman because the judge was Portia herself. No, by mine honor, madam, by my soul, no woman had it, but a civil doctor, which did refuse 3,000 ducats of me. 3,000 ducats, which should be given to Shylock, that was the loan amount. The judge refused to take it and begged the ring which I did deny. I refused to give the ring and suffered him to go away displeased. At first I did not give the ring to the judge, and he went away unhappy. Even he that had held up the very life of my dear friend, the judge who saved the life of my best friend. What should I say, sweet lady? I was enforced to send it after him. So I felt guilty, and Antonio also insisted, so I sent the ring after him. I was beset with shame and courtesy. The judge had done so much. And so I felt ashamed. I felt ashamed that I felt that I was being discourteous by not giving the ring. My honor would not let ingratitude so much besever it. I wanted to be grateful to the person who saved Antonio. Pardon me, good lady, for by these blessed candles of the night, had you been there, if you had been Bassanio, I think you would have begged the ring of me to give the worthy doctor. If Portia had been there, she would have insisted that Bassanio should give the ring to the judge. So, dramatic irony there. Let not the doctor come near my house. Since he had got the jewel that I live, that judge should not come anywhere near my house. And that which you did swear to keep for me, I will become as liberal as you. You were so generous with your wife's first gift. I will also be generous. I will give everything to anybody who asks. I will not deny anything that I have to Graciano, nor I his clerk. If the clerk comes here, I will give everything that he demands. Therefore, we well advise. So all along you see there is dramatic irony. How you do leave me to mine own pretension. Dramatic irony is the characters don't know what is happening, who these persons were, but the audience knows, the reader knows. And Antonio steps in. I am the unhappy subject of these quarrels. And Portia says, Sir, grieve not, you don't be worried. You are welcome notwithstanding. Bassanio, Portia, forgive me for this enforced wrong, the wrong that I was forced to commit, that is the giving away the ring. And in the hearing of these many friends, I swear to thee, even by thine own fair eyes, wherein I see myself. Mark you but that. Again, she makes fun of that. In both my eyes, he doubly sees himself. He's not faithful. He's doubly sees himself. In each eye one, swear by your double self, and there is an oath to credit. He says, he sees himself twice in both my eyes. One image of himself in each eye. So he is not honest. He is not speaking honestly. Bassanio, nay, but hear me. Pardon this fault, and by my soul I swear, I never more will break my oath with thee. Forgive me for this one fault. I will not break my oath again. I once did lend my body for his wealth. He signed the document by stating that if the loan is not repaid on time, Antonio is willing to pay a pound of flesh. You know all that, no? Which but for him that had your husband's ring had quite miscarried. Antonio would have lost his life, but because of the person who has taken the husband's ring, that is Portia herself, the judge, Antonio and Bassanio thinks that it is another person who is the judge. And Antonio would have lost his life if Portia had not been there. I dare be bound again. My soul upon the forfeit that your Lord will never more break faith adversely. I will stand for Bassanio. I will support Bassanio, and I will stand for him. I will be his security that he will not break any more promises made to you. Here Lord Bassanio swear to keep this ring. By heaven, it is the same ring I gave the doctor. Now, the Portia would have given Antonio the same ring to be given to Bassanio. Portia, I had it of him, pardon me, Bassanio. I had taken it from the doctor. And pardon me, my gentle Graciano, for that same scrub boy, the doctor's clerk, did give me this. So Graciano gives the ring Nerissa gives the ring which Grashana had given to the judge's clerk. You are all amazed. Here is the letter, read it at your pleasure. It comes from Padua, from Bellario. There you shall find that Portia was the doctor, Nerissa there was her clerk. Lorenzo here shall witness. I set forth as soon as you. Lorenzo will inform you that I left the house as soon as you left the house. And even but now, I have just entered. I have returned only now. I have not yet entered my house. Antonio, you are welcome. And I have better news in store for you than you expect. Unseal this letter soon. There you shall find 3 of your argosies are richly come to harbour suddenly. 3 of your ships are safe and they have reached the harbour. You shall not know by what strange accident I chanced upon that letter. I will not tell you how I came across this letter. I am dumb. I am speechless. Were you the doctor and I knew you not? Were you the clerk? Sweet lady, you have given me life and living, that is to Portia. It's because of you I am alive. For here I read for certain that my ships are safely come to Rome. She has given him also the living means, the money, the means to live. How now, Lorenzo, my clerk had some good comforts too for you. I will give them him without a fee. I will give Lorenzo the good news without taking any charges. There do I give to you and Jessica from the rich Jew a special deed of gift. After his death, of all he dies possessed. Everything that Shylock has, his house, his property, his wealth, after his death will belong to Lorenzo and his daughter Jessica. Fair ladies, you drop manna in the way of starved people. You are dropping food for people who have been starving. It is almost morning, and yet I am sure you are not satisfied of these events at full. Let us go in and charge us thereupon interrogaties. I am sure you have not understood everything properly. So, when it is morning, you can question us, you can ask as many questions as you want, and we will be ready with answers. That is, Portia and Nerissa will be ready with answers. And we will answer all things faithfully. Let it be so. Well, while I live, I'll fear no other thing so sore as keeping safe Nerissa's ring. As long as alive, my most important duty will be to keep Nerissa's ring safe. Now you have that word manna there. It is when the Israelites, you don't have to worry about this, I'm just telling you what it is. When the Israelites were in the desert, they were living in Egypt and they were walking along in the desert. They complained they did not have food. And God dropped food from heaven or bread from heaven, which is called manna. So with that, we have finished the play. And I hope you have enjoyed The Merchant of Venice.